This has got to be the weirdest, most unique, oddest landscape anywhere in Ireland. This place is called the Burren, and the Burren is a cracked and fissured labyrinth landscape of limestone. It is incredible. From a distance, this place looks completely barren, but up close you realise that actually it's unbelievably diverse. This is also a place with a huge amount of history, and there are ruins and structures and remnants of things that have been here for thousands of years. It's absolutely incredible. It's in County Clare on the west coast of Ireland, and I've always wanted to come here ever since I saw it featured on a documentary about some local priests. As well as inspiring an episode of Father Ted, this is a location that also has links to Lord of the Rings, including one of the most crucial characters within Lord of the Rings. So I'll explain that later. So you're gonna get to come along with me as I explore, talk a little bit about this place. I'm gonna camp overnight and we're just gonna go see what we can find. So let's go have an adventure in the most unique landscape in Ireland. Got to be careful around here. I've heard it's a bit of a rough area. I love how there's a massive boulder over there that has just been incorporated into the stone wall. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, can anyone else see what looks like a cave troll face on that rock? This place is going to give me nightmares tonight if I'm walking around in the dark seeing things in the rocks. This is interesting. Something I've noticed straight away up here is that the ground is really dry. I haven't seen any mud. Now, yes, it hasn't rained in a few days, but I haven't even heard any water. There's been no rivers. Well, actually, there have been rivers, but the riverbed is bone dry. I think that's because limestone's so porous. A lot of the water doesn't actually sit in the surface. It goes right through the limestone and actually down into a vast network of caves, which is under a lot of the Burren. And that's one of the things I got warned about, was making sure I bring extra water with me, because I'm used to finding water sources and filtering, but apparently I'll be lucky to find any water up there. So I've got some extra water, and I've got to thank Martin at Soul Trail Adventures for that tip off. He's given me a little bit of advice. Martin's been here quite a few times, and you can go check out some of his videos. So if it wasn't for Martin, I would be dehydrating this evening, so thanks Martin. I've just noticed there's a cow spying on me over the top of that little cliff there. Could you see the top of its head and its eyes watching down at me? This place is a photographer's dream. If you've got like a photographer's eye and you look around here, you just see shape and shadow and contrast and leading lines and perspective. It's just, I want us just to stand and photograph it and not keep moving. There's like an amazing shot every direction you look in. This route that I'm walking on, that I'm currently on, is known as the Blackhead Loop, and it's called that because it's got the highest concentration of dermatologists in Ireland. We've jumped forward a little bit in the video because I forgot to talk about something. I'm going to start posting some of my favourite routes up on a page on my new website, and that is all thanks, of course, to Squarespace, who've sponsored this video. So the only reason you're watching this is because Squarespace sponsored it, so keep watching. Squarespace let me really quickly put my new website together. I just went on there, I found a theme, I chucked my content onto it, I customized it the way I want it, and now I'm adding things to it as I go, and it's really, really easy, and I'm enjoying it because I used to be a web developer and I spent years coding websites, and I can't even look at code now. I hate it so much. So it's been a breath of fresh air to be able to put my new website together, purely visual. But yes, I'm going to have a page on there where you'll be able to get those routes. And if you think you might want to get your own website with Squarespace, you can go sign up for a free trial. And then if you actually want to go ahead with your website, you can go to squarespace.com/Stephen J. Reid to get 10% off your first website or domain name. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, I'm snagged. No! Let go of me! There's like a little window through the hedge. This would be a good place to come with your significant other for smooching. There's a sheep down there giving its head a good scratch in a rock. Hi, sheep! Right, we're leaving the trail now and we're heading up in that direction to where there are some ancient things to look at, or so I'm told. This is a very strange surface to be walking on. You really have to watch where you put your feet. Lots of big cracks. Sometimes the rocks move. Oh wow! Look at this surface. That is so weird. Actually, once you're on the flat, it's quite nice to walk on because it's very smooth on the top. There aren't really that. I thought there'd be more stuff sticking up and stabbing my feet, but I think this cairn is some kind of marker because there's one here. And then if you look on up there, there's another one. And I think the ring fort that I'm heading to is up that way. So there must be some kind of navigation tool. Whoa. That is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Okay, this is gonna blow your mind. This is an over 1,500 year old ring fort. 1.5 millennia. And the name of it roughly translates as Fort of the Kings. And I think this is where, way back ancient times in Ireland, cattle were your wealth, and the richest people were the really big cattle farmers. And I think this would have been set up to protect the cattle farmers. Go in here. Look, those walls are 8 to 15 feet thick, but I can't get over how big this is. When I saw there was a ring fort on Google Maps, it looked quite small, but oh, there's someone's had a poo there. Some of these fissures between the rocks are really deep. And that one goes down, you can't really tell, it's about 5 foot deep. And it's interesting, you look down and then you wouldn't think anything would grow in there, but they're all kind of plants and ferns and things right down in the cracks. I didn't expect to find so much life up here, but this place is like, it's a mashup between life and death. You've got the dead limestone, but you've got so much life that's kind of clinging to it and through it. And while we're talking about plants, here's the thing about the Burren that might really surprise you. This right here is the only place in Europe, in all of Europe, where you can find Arctic, Mediterranean and alpine plants growing together in the same spot. It's completely unique in Europe. And not only that, despite again how barren this place looks, 70% of all the plant species that you can find in Ireland grow in the Burren. When I first thought of coming up here, I considered fast packing it, so going really ultralight and actually running with my kit to try and cover more ground, but I realized I'd be running through Ireland's largest trip hazard. It's Ireland's largest trip hazard, father. This is Murragh Cairn, and I've booped it because this was built in the 1800s as a trigonometry point, but not all is quite as it seems, because this is not actually the original cairn. It was built in the 1800s because that one was climbed on by absolute plunkers, collapsed, and this had to be rebuilt more recently. But we're also standing on, prepare to have your mind blown again, this rock pile beneath my feet. That is a much older burial cairn, and it's reckoned there's been a burial cairn here for up to 5,000 years. There's a lot of very old dead people potentially under this. Hey, how's it going? So hopefully there's no angry, vengeful ghosts lurking around in the dark tonight. I mean, to be fair, I once camped right beside an actual graveyard, so this seems a little bit tame by comparison. Okay, so I need to find somewhere nearby to camp. It's a bit windy tonight, so I'm gonna see if I can find somewhere a little bit down sheltered, and I've now only got an hour before sunrise, so I'm just gonna go and get set up camp, and then we can tell tales of what the connection this place has with J.R.R. Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. Right, I'm hungry. Time to get some food. In hindsight, perhaps walking around in my socks wasn't the best idea. Nearly fell on my head. Oh, I'm so happy. We're getting one final glimpse of the sun, I think, before it disappears behind that cloud bank over there. Just one final little bit of sunshine. Oh, nearly fell again. Okay, so what's that connection in between J.R.R. Tolkien and the Burren? As we sit here having now lost the sun. It's gone behind a cloud bank. There's a little gap at the bottom of the cloud bank. It might come out again. Actual sunset isn't for another about 20 minutes. So we'll see. We might get a little peek underneath. So the connection with J.R.R. Tolkien and the Burren is basically that J.R.R. Tolkien... Whoa, there's a massive hare over there. That thing's the size of a dog. And I took my zoom lens off, so I can't even... There's another one! And they're gone. Yeah, Tolkien visited down here, visited this landscape, and then there's some speculation that some locations in Lord of the Rings were inspired by the landscape up here. The Misty Mountains are often mentioned. But more compelling, I think, is this. There is a cave... And it's a fairly well-known cave, as it's quite popular for people going... Well, it's popular within caving circles. And it is called Pol Na Gollum.
Gollum. Yes, precious. We think it stole our name from the Burren, precious. He did. He took our name from the Burren. Ugh. Poison it is.
So I reckon Tolkien heard the name of that cave, thought it sounded pretty good, and decided to name one of his best known characters after it. There is one more Tolkien connection with Ireland, okay? Because in Ireland there is this like mythical creature known as the Banshee, and it's this like terrifying sort of like apparition. It's like a woman, but that screams this really high pitched, piercing, you know, like, I'm not going to do it, terrifying screech when someone is going to die. And there's been speculation that the cry of the Banshee might have inspired cry of the Nazgul. The 9 kings of men, corrupted by the ring and forced to walk the earth, neither living nor dead. I'm a bit bunged up this morning. I didn't take any hay fever tablets, and I'm all kind of it's not very pleasant. But there wasn't really a sunrise because of the low cloud, but the sun has now come up above the cloud and it's starting to brighten up. I'm quite excited about my next objective because yesterday that photographer told me that there's kind of like this strange green bowl of an oasis in between 2 summits, and I've been looking on Google satellite view, and yeah, sure enough, there's just literally just looks like this bowl-like depression, bright green right in the middle. It does look like an oasis, so that is what I'm going to try and find this morning.
Oasis or blur? Blur.
What? Oasis, I mean Oasis.
Well, this is interesting. I've noticed quite a few of these, whatever these are, all around the landscape. If you look around, you just kind of see jagged rocks where the edges of one of these is sticking up. Are these some kind of, these burial chambers? Was there a body would have lain in the middle originally and something over the top? I don't know. Or maybe it's just a shelter for sheep, but there's quite a few of them scattered all over the landscape. Yeah, look at this. There's this little depression here where water has been built up. You can actually see the water overflows and spills off. It's carved the channel into the limestone and then it just kind of disappears. Is that a hole leading to a cave? Look. Where does that go? It's the fact I know there's caves under here somewhere, and I'm wondering, is there some like massive, unbelievably cool, cavern just underneath my feet? Is there like an entire other world beneath me, some kind of upside down? We're approaching the big green bowl. You can just about see it down in there. Well, this place is so peaceful and quiet that I think that I want to finish the video here. It's a very loud bird. Yeah, I just want to enjoy sitting here for a bit without having to worry about videos and cameras. So I've spotted there's a road up there, trail. It looks like it goes in the direction that'll take me out of here, so I'm going to follow that and hopefully get out. But what I'm going to do is finish up, turn off the camera, and I'm just going to sit here in the peace for a bit and then hike out. So thanks for watching. I will be back here. I will be back. If you know this area and there's any particular spots you think I should check out, please let me know. But I am blown away by just the beauty of this place and its uniqueness. And I can't wait to come back and explore it some more. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Wow. Whew. Well, it was going to happen eventually. I was going to step in a hole. Thought it would have happened a bit sooner. This place is hazardous for your ankles.